These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes. Oh, I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes. The bills need paying, so off I must go.
These rocky shores, where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
I think to myself, where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's gentle road. With tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores, where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include community vigil held on Thursday, public meeting concerning health care, interview with federal PC candidate for this district, Bill Matthews, playing tag paid off for Burgeo resident. These stories plus community events, VBS playbill, off the rack, and more coming up after this.
Sharing a healthier future with participation. Meet Lisa. She's skating for all the right reasons: health, fitness, and fun. By the way, Lisa has a developmental disability, but she's breaking down barriers, turning disabilities into abilities. Regular activity, another way we're all sharing a healthier future. Participation.
Well over 1,000 area residents came out on Thursday to participate in the Save Our Community Vigil organized by the Burgeo Chamber of Commerce. Since the Seafreeze plant here in Burgeo closed its doors in April of 1992, our community has undergone countless changes, many of which were not for the betterment of our community. Prior to 1992, finding a vacant home in Burgeo was next to impossible. These days, they're a dime a dozen. The number of vacant homes is steadily increasing as our population continues to dwindle.
people in this area
As Dr.
emotionally?
Sarah Roxon explains, it's not just the
Definitely,
economy
yes.
that's suffering
They were
because of the
affected
closure
pretty
of the
much
fishery.
by the closure of the fish plant. And we experience lots of stress-related conditions. It came in waves when the news broke and they found out that it will become a reality. We had a huge number of patients visiting us with different problems and concerns, and it was difficult for them to deal with the question. It was very difficult for them to face this insecurity. They did not know for how long it will last and how they will be able to cope with it. Yes, we had many, many patients.
Flags were flying at half-mast on Thursday as the Chamber of Commerce vigil brought together people from all sectors of our community. St. John the Evangelist Church was filled to the rafters, with as many or more people waiting outside the church to throw their support behind the local Chamber of Commerce. Those gathered inside the church were led in prayer by Reverends Byron Barter and Marilyn Avery.
Therefore, today we come before you as a people of hope, praising your name and relying upon your promise to be faithful to us in our need. We ask this through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
O God, our Heavenly Father, giver of all good things, we thank you that you have created us and preserved us to this day. You know our needs and our fears at this time because of our lack of work. We ask that you comfort and strengthen us through our distress and anxiety, and give us hope and courage to continue our support for one another. It is clear from your word that work is normal and good for all people, yet we have not found what we need and seek. Lord, we need help.
Following the prayers, everyone assembled outside the church where they were greeted by Mayor Blaine Marks and Seafreeze employee Norm Strickland.
I think the crowd here today shows that we are all willing and we all want to go back to work, and I think that's the message we want to send to the government. And I think by their absence today probably is a bit of a message, and I think within the next couple of weeks, when the election is announced and Mr. Simmons comes around, maybe we won't remember him on election day either, if they're going to be victorious like that. I'd like to thank the Chamber of Commerce for organizing this today. And as I said, we're here. We want to go to work. We have the infrastructure. We have the company that's willing to open the plant. We have a contract signed and everybody willing to go back to work. All we need from the government is a commitment to give us some fish so we can go back to work. And if this is their idea of another resettlement, we're going to tell them we're staying, fish or no fish. Although we never got rich on the fishery, we were happy and we were survived. Some of the Burgos young people choose to leave after leaving school, while others choose to stay and build Burgos into what it has become today. But I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, they had an option, a choice to stay or to go. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are forced to leave our homes by the federal government. We have no choice. Remember the 60s and the 70s? Most of us here today are a result of Joey Small's resettlement. When Joey Small would sit to the poor people, fill up their boats, burn your stages and wharves, and resettle to other towns. Ladies and gentlemen, we are being forced to resettle again.
After the speeches, everyone proceeded to hold hands and proceed around our community. Then a human chain was formed around the circle near the hospital to show that residents of Burgeo are not individuals, but a family determined to stick together, a community determined to survive. Reverend Barter, what did you think of the turnout for the vigil today?
It was a marvellous turnout. Very impressed at the beginning especially. I know our church service, the turnout couldn't be any better. I think it was a really good event.
So do you think that the vigil will get the message out?
I think it was a marvellous way. Actually, we had quite a few people coming through town today heading for another event, and they're very impressed with the way that we're going about things here in Burgeo, a different approach, and very impressed indeed.
Union spokesperson Eileen Strickland says the union fully supports the efforts of the local Chamber of Commerce.
Dave, the union was 100% behind the Chamber of Commerce and what they were trying to do. It's time that this town all pulled together and show everybody we must have an industry.
Okay, so what do you feel is the next step?
Well, this was the easy step. The next step, if we don't get some fish and we don't get an industry, before we let this town go, a typhoon in China will be mild compared to what's going to happen.
So I understand that you've got meetings coming up with Mr. Barry now in the upcoming week. So what do you hope to learn at these meetings?
Well, actually, Dave, in the meeting, we're open that everybody will put their plan on the table and say just exactly what they got in mind for Burgeo, because it's time the Burgeo people was told that we're either going to have a industry or let the people know they don't have a chance. One thing or the other, and it's time.
Chamber President Elaine Swift says they will be supporting the union at Wednesday's meeting.
Well, we're attending a meeting in Cornerbrook next week, and we'll be backing up the union 100%. We're going to definitely try to get this plant open.
Archbishop Stuart Payne was in Burgeo on Thursday, but unable to stay for the vigil. Archbishop Payne had this message.
But I felt that I couldn't just pass through the community and go on to Ramia without identifying with what the people are doing today, and to pledge my support to them, for them, with them. My message is that they're doing a good thing. They have to. I think people have to, and I really appreciate the way in which they're doing it. It's not a noisy, rough kind of demonstration or show of anger, in a sense, but rather a show of deep concern and solidarity one with another for the future of their community. And my message is we're with you in that. We're with you in that, and I really appreciate the kind of stand they're taking. A quiet demonstration, a day of mourning, rather than a more belligerent kind of session.
What will eventually happen remains to be seen, but as long as our chain remains unbroken, our community will survive. It has to. The meeting held on Wednesday night as part of the operational review of the Western Healthcare Corporation and Community Health Western drew more than 160 concerned citizens from our community. Dr. Sharon McDonald and Jim Apostol, representing the John Hackinson Healthcare Professionals Incorporated, the company conducting the Western Regional Operational Review, didn't have a lot to say, but asked for community input and views. And they got it.
The purpose of the community meetings is to hear from you what you think you need for health services in the region, what kinds of health services you want to have here in the region and here in the community.
Madam Chairman, I couldn't help with number 2 there. What we would like to, for us to tell you people, what kind of health care services do you need to have? And I would like to say that we need health care located right here in this community in our local hospital. It was only about 5-6 years ago in 91, 92, I had the opportunity to serve on a board which did a feasibility study for health care in the Burgeo area. And at that time, and that's when the old hospital was
closing and a new one was going to be built. Well, we looked into it and it was decided we needed what we got up there right now. That is what we want, located right here in our community. And as other people have indicated, we need some improvements. We need more doctors. We need a specialist that can visit periodically to provide some of the other specialized services. I find it ironic you're here tonight wondering what we should have. It was only 5-6 years ago, as I said, that was what was needed in this area. We've got it. We're not completely satisfied, but it's well staffed, and our patients that go in there are well looked out to. Don't try to downgrade it. We don't need that. Keep it as is. Let's improve on it for this area. That's all I've got to say.
Following the meeting, I had the opportunity to speak with Dr. McDonald and other individuals about their view. I'm speaking with Dr. Sharon McDonald, one of the consultants here this evening. Were you pleased with the turnout here?
Well, it was an excellent turnout. It looks like we had 150 people in the room and there were more waiting outside. I was also told that there were 4 other meetings going on in town, and one of them was a fishermen's meeting, so we have to say that people were very concerned and showed up in real numbers.
Okay, so what did you think of the ideas and concerns that were expressed here this evening?
The ideas and concerns were very real, and there's no question that we'll be taking in the message that people want to see the services here in Burgeo continue, and that they appreciate the services that they get in the hospital, that they're asking for their fair share and not more. So that's a message we're taking back.
So how do these ideas and concerns compare to what you've been hearing in other communities?
They're very similar to the other communities that we visited. Port Sanders and Bombay certainly have very similar concerns.
So what will you be doing now with the information that you've obtained here this evening?
This information will form a part of a report that will be submitted to the Minister of Health. And that report, the Minister will hopefully discuss with his colleagues and help to plan future health needs and health services here in Western Region.
Are you pleased with the turnout at tonight's meeting?
Yes, I was really pleased. I had rumors earlier, like yesterday and earlier this afternoon, that maybe we may not get a big turnout, and then a lot of us, just started, phoning and telling them how interested, how interested we were and how concerned we were, and then the flashing on our channel, I think really did the thing, because I was really excited when I came in and saw so many people that had turned out, and their concerns were heard,
So do you feel that all the main issues were brought to the attention of the people here tonight?
Oh yes. Our like I said at the meeting, our number one concern is to recruit more doctors, and then the different issues that was raised throughout was very interesting, and the comments was very well put. In fact, I was very proud of our people.
Karen, were you pleased with the turnout here at the meeting tonight regarding the health care?
I was really pleased with the turnout. It's nice to see a lot of people out in support of our hospital. We really need the public support behind us.
Okay, so as a worker at the hospital, I guess you know firsthand what exactly happens there. Do you feel that all the concerns with respect to the health care were brought out here tonight?
Yes, I think they were all met, and I'm really pleased that there's such good public support there for our workers and for the care that's given there. We're very proud of the care that we give, and we want to keep giving it.
John, as an employee at the Calder Healthcare Centre, were you pleased with the turnout at tonight's meeting?
Yes, Dave, I was really pleased with the turnout, with such a short notice and all, that we had a really good turnout. I'm glad people come out and express their views and stuff on healthcare in this region. It's very important that people come out and speak their mind and show government that there is a grave concern, for this area, healthcare in this area. I guess there's not much we could do more now than just wait and see what government has up their sleeve. They definitely must have something up their sleeve in order to get these consultations done. you know, there got to be some hidden agenda. You know, they must believe somewhere back there there's still money to be taken somewhere in order to have these, you know, consultants to come out, right?
So do you feel that all the issues pertaining to the Calder Healthcare Center were addressed here tonight?
I'm pretty sure most all the issues were addressed in one way or another. They were all expressed. Most views were made known, right? Concerns were made, and I think they pretty well covered them all.
So what do you feel is the next step?
I guess the next step now, Dave, is just to wait and see, try to maintain what we got, see what government is planning to do, and hope that we can probably expand. You know, it's pretty hard to plan to expand if you're just, you know, can try to maintain first. You know, you maintain first and plan to expand later.
The St. George's Day holiday, 1997, is a day George Sutton's family will never forget. George was the older of the Lotto 649 lucky tag number that netted him $100,000. I had an opportunity to speak with George and Joan Sutton on Tuesday. First of all, we'd like to congratulate you on your winnings. Word that someone from the community had won tag was spreading around Burgeo before lunch on Monday. When did you actually discover that you were the holder of the lucky ticket?
Dave, about supper time, I think. About 5 o'clock. I was in the woods all day and with Lou, and when I came out, we went into his place and had a drink before supper. And Barb said that somebody had won the $100,000 in Burgeo, and she asked me if I had any tickets. I said yes, but I didn't have them checked. And I said to myself, oh, not me anyway. I'll never win. And when I came up, first thing they had to tell me, $100,000.
So what was your initial reaction when you realized that you were $100,000 richer?
I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it, sir.
Okay, so do you have any plans in mind for your winnings?
Well, I'm going to pay off a few bills I got, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest. Put it in the bank for a while.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it, yes.
So do you buy lotto tickets regularly?
I buy tickets every Wednesday and Saturday.
Okay, so have you won anything in the past, or is this your first time?
Well, I've won $10, $20. $20 most I've won.
Okay, well, we'd like to congratulate you once again. The Burgeo Recreation Commission's Arena Telethon is only a week away.
We want to thank, let's see, who else we got here this afternoon? Carolyn Green.
On this year's telethon, we will have lots of great entertainment from local performers. The Square Dancers will be performing, and we'll have some fascinating underwater videos. Some lucky ticket holder will win their next year of cable. 2 people will each win 10 pounds of lobsters. And also, there will be lots of great prizes to be won just for making a pledge.
And Marcus James, Marcus, a $5 pledge. Thank you.
Dick Reeves will be here again this year hosting the telethon, and our MHA, Bill Ramsey, will be here to open the telethon. This year's telethon will get underway at 2 p.m. on Sunday. We hope you'll take the time to tune in and pledge your support. Stay tuned, there's more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Celebrating the joy of physical activity for 25 years. Participaction.
Burgeo IAS Committee held their regular meeting on Tuesday of this past week. A panel from the committee came by on Wednesday morning to give us an update. Speaking with me in the studio today is a panel from the IAS Committee, and they're here to give us an update. Welcome to our studio once again.
Okay.
Bob, I guess we'll start with you again.
No problem.
And I guess the first topic, as always, will be the fish plant. Have you had any further meetings or anything further with respect to the plant?
Mm-hmm. Well, at our IAS meeting last night, the union representatives advised that
they've arranged a meeting for next Wednesday, which is April the 30th, in Corner Brook. And they have confirmation from Mr. Barry that he will be there, as well as Max Short, I understand he's with DFO, Reg Anstey from the Union, and Roger Simmons, as well as some people from the Chamber and from the Joint Union Council Committee. Okay, so I guess there's been a lot of letters exchanged looking for updates so that we could in turn pass information back to the community. Unfortunately, they have not shared any information at this point in time. So what we're hoping is going to happen here, Dave, is we have all the stakeholders in the same room, and we're going to be talking about the Burgeo plant, and hopefully we'll come back with some answers.
The Strategic Plan Subcommittee, I understand, have a workshop planned for this coming week.
That's right, Dave. I guess the people are starting to get tired of hearing about strategic plans, and I'm sort of getting tired of talking about them as well. Yes, our strategic plan has been on hold for a couple of months now, but hopefully we'll get it back together and get it wrapped up. And we're having workshops on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. They're at the Far Hall. That's the first two on Monday and Tuesday, but on Wednesday is the community center.
We spoke last time about an aquaculture convention that was scheduled for Gander. I understand that's coming up relatively soon now. Will there be any representatives from Burgeo attending that?
Yeah, it's coming up this Monday. Starting the April 28th, 29th, 30th. And myself and Kitchener Skinner will be going to that workshop.
Okay, what about the local workshop that you spoke about at our last update? Has that one ahead yet?
No, unfortunately, the one that was scheduled for April 22nd, the more, I guess, the pertinent people, the ones that we thought we needed there, Sean Robinson would deal with, and, you know, some of the other people that we had scheduled in there couldn't make it. So we've put this thing off now to, let's see, May 13th or 14th.
And understand that the community brochure is now available to the public. Anyone wants to send it out to a relative or...
Yes, Dave, they're done. Anyways, but by the time you see this on Sunday night, hopefully these will be around the town. We had a total of 12,500 printed, so we got lots of information to get out to all your family and friends and whoever you want to send it to. And we'd encourage people to pick them up at the town hall. They'll be stored there. And again, I'd like to say thanks to the council and the IIS who shared the cost of those brochures.
Owen, back to you for the youth update. Have you had any response from students that are interested in the student business loans that we talked about last time?
Well, we did advertise at school. Well, we didn't get a very good response. But behind the scenes, I was approached by a couple of people that said, more or less in private, that they were interested. I suppose they didn't want to put a name on a list, I'm not sure. So what me and Dave Courtney did is we approached the principal there, Barb Barter, and we made arrangements for Jim Dunn of the BBD to come in, and he'll be here April 30th. And at that time, if the students are interested in a student loan, then they can go down and have a chat with Jim.
The IAS panel will be shown in its entirety later in the week. Check the BBS playbill. Students at A.J. Matthews School held their annual science fair on Friday of this past week. We took our cameras to the school to see what types of projects the students have created this year.
Belinda and Shane, do you want to tell us a little bit about the experiment that you've chosen for this year's science fair?
This is a boat that can be propelled by air, such as the hovercraft. We used a propeller. As the propeller turns, it gives a force of air to make the boat move. And so what happens is, and you could just feel from behind there that there's a lot of air being pushed out. So in result, the boat is pushed by the air.
So where did you guys come up with this experiment?
We came up with the experiment from a boat called Make It Work in Electricity.
And how long did it take you to make it, Shane?
2 weeks.
What's your experiment here today?
Underwater volcano.
Okay, do you want to show us how it works?
Okay, first the big jar is filled with cold water, and the little jar is filled with hot water. We put in red food coloring, about 3 drops. It rises the up. We put it in the thing, and when it gets down at the bottom, all the stuff comes up, and it makes it look like an underwater volcano.
Good. Where'd you come up with this idea?
Well, me and Nikita Green, we came up with this one. She had this book at home with all kinds of science experiments in it, and I found this one to do.
Okay, thank you very much. Ingrid and Victor, what's your experiment here today?
Dancing popcorn.
Okay, you want to show us how it works?
All right, first we put baking soda in with water, then we added some popcorn kernels and some vinegar, and we stirred, and the bubbles that forms on there brings the popcorn kernels up, and when the bubbles bust, the kernels comes back up, and they keeps going up and down.
Okay, you want to show us?
We're putting 4 tablespoons of baking soda into the water, and once we get that done, we're going to stir it. Right. And then I'm going to stir it, and she's going to put some food coloring in to make this color. Now she's going to put the popcorn kernels in. Now when it settles, it's going to pop, because the bubbles that the vinegar and baking soda make are going to attach to the popcorn kernels, and it'll bring them up to the surface, and then they'll go up to the surface and pop, and then they'll come back in and pop. As you can see, it's working. Woo! Not overcoated, it's good.
So Ingrid, where did you come up with this experiment?
We found it in a book in the school library.
So I guess obviously it didn't take you very long to put things together that you needed for it.
No, didn't take very long at all.
Okay, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Kristen Janes and Megan Billard had to show their experiment outside.
Yeah.
Kristen explained as Megan's dad did the experiment.
Now he's going to put the plug in the jet and seal it up. He's going to put the rocket in the base.
Now what am I going to do? I'm going to add some?
And he's going to add some air.
And what's going to happen then?
And then the rocket's going to go up in the sky.
He's got the air is going to force the water. You ready? Here we go. Everybody want to count?
1, 2, 3. Go!
These experiments were just a few of the many that were being demonstrated at A.J. Matthews School on Friday afternoon. This past weekend, St. John Central High played host to the Southwest Regional Drama Festival. Students from 7 communities around western Newfoundland traveled to Burgeo to show off their talents at the festival. The Drama Festival got underway on Friday evening as Belanger from Codroy Valley performed their play, Hitches. Following that play, St. James Regional Drama players from Port aux Basques performed Oliver Twisted. And Friday evening clued up as St. John Central High School's Drama Club performed You Can't Get Away From You. On Saturday afternoon, the plays continued as Gramany's River Drama Group from Burn Highlands performed Strange Inheritance. Following that play, Our Lady of Lourdes High School Drama Club performed Glass Houses. And Saturday evening, Legale Memorial Drama Group from Alamort performed The Babysitter, followed by St. James Junior Drama Group from Port aux Basques and their play, The Marriage. The unknown players, students from St. Stephen's High and Bishop O'Reilly High from Stephenville, clued up this year's festival with their play, The Insanity of Mary Gerard. And here are the adjudicators with their winner for the Southwest Regional Drama Festival.
A little bit is an idea of winning and losing. See, the thing is, and I've been trying to think about why this word bothers me. And it's because, you know, when you do this play again tomorrow, it'll be better. So everybody's winning, right? You're better than you were yesterday. Tomorrow's going to be better than you think you were today. But at the same time, we still have to set somebody on. And I think we adjudicated it in another district earlier this month, and they're very proud of the people that they sent on. And I think all of you collectively should be very proud of the people that we think should be sent on. There's only one problem. We're not quite sure who they are. Because they're unknown.
Congratulations are extended to the unknown players from Stephenville. Late last week, I spoke with Bill Matthews, PC candidate for Buren St. George's in the upcoming federal election. Speaking with me in the studio today is Bill Matthews, PC candidate for the district of Buren St. George's in the upcoming federal election. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
Mr. Matthews, why did you decide to run in this district in the upcoming election?
Well, I'm Buren St. George's born and raised, being a Grand Banker born and raised, and then having lived in Fortune for 20-odd years. So I'm a resident of the riding, grew up here, understand the issues in the riding, and wanted to take up the challenge of becoming a Member of Parliament for Buren St. George's and represent the interests of the people in the House of Commons. And when I look at the riding and the issues here of high unemployment, fishery problems, health and education problems, and changes to employment insurance, then I wanted to take up the gauntlet really for the unemployed and the others involved in those issues, and healthcare workers and patients who want good healthcare. So that's why I'm offering myself to the people as an alternative to the present representation.
What do you see as major problems in the district of Buren St. George's, particularly in the Burgeo area?
The biggest problem in Buren St. George's, and that's identified by not only talking to people one-on-one, but through public opinion surveys scientifically conducted, the #1 problem is our staggering unemployment rate. We not only have the highest unemployment rate in Newfoundland and Labrador, we have the highest unemployment rate in Canada as a riding, as a South Coast region. That's very alarming. So that's the #1 problem. So what I want to offer the people of Buren St. George's is an opportunity to sit down with them, to discuss their issues and concerns, to identify possible solutions and go to work with them, to work together to find a solution and create employment and reduce our unemployment rate. So that's the #1 issue. The other issues in order of priority in the minds of the electorate of Buren St. George's are fishery related, of course, because of the problems in our fishery, and then healthcare and education. So that's why I'm here, that's what I've identified, and that's the #1 problem in Buren St. George's, is staggering unemployment.
What do you feel the PC government can do for the country, in particular this district, that the current government are not doing?
Create jobs, put money into job creation, and we'll find the money to do that by reducing taxes, by reducing personal income tax on Canadians, and we've issued our election platform 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we will reduce personal income taxes by 10% in the first term of our mandate, starting with the first budget. So it will gradually be decreased downward by 10% over the term. We're going to, we've made a commitment as well to lower the unemployment premiums paid by employees and employers. Because when you look at the Employment Insurance Fund now, as is known, there will be a $10 billion surplus in that by the end of this year. But yet, employees and employers are still paying a high level of premiums. So we say reduce the premiums, give those who are employed more disposable income to go out and spend, and stimulate the economy and create jobs. So that's what we offer, and that's what we're committed to do.
Okay, if elected, what will you do to help ensure that the sea freeze plant here in Burgeo is reopened?
Work again closely with the people of Burgeo. I'm here today, and I met with the Chamber of Commerce, I've met with the healthcare workers, I'm meeting with the union representatives later on, and at a future date to meet with the council, because the mayor and the deputy mayor are out of town today, and we tried to contact them, but we will be back again to meet with those people. So I want to, today what I'm doing is I'm identifying the concerns of the people of Burgeo, to hear their frustrations. So I want to be well tuned in to their problems and understand them. And then I will roll up my sleeves with the people of Burgeo to work towards a solution. And the solution is there in my mind. We've got a facility, we've got a workforce that's trained and wants to badly go back to work, but we need resource. And I think there are available resources out there if we tap into the proper access of people. And I think from that point of view, that Burgeo has been underrepresented at the provincial and federal levels. That I think if your present representation was effective, that your plant would now be working. Because I've worked in my area of the province, where I was a member for 14 years, with similar situations where plants had closed or were threatened with closure, and we have kept them going and reactivated them. So it can be done, but you've got to roll up your sleeves and go at it. So I think there is a solution to the problem, but it's accessing resource of crab and shrimp and other species and get it to Burgeo and have it processed. So yes, there is a solution, and I'd like to work with the people of Burgeo to obtain that. And I think I can do that. I have the wherefore to do it.
If the PC party forms the federal government, what will be their take on the future of the TAGS program?
Our position on the TAGS program and the continuation of it is very simple. In 1992, I believe it was, whenever the date was that Brian Tobin and Lloyd Axworthy came to St. John's and announced the $1.9 billion TAGS program, they announced it was for a 5-year period. After that, people got letters telling them that they would receive benefits until May of 1999, for the most part. Since then, within the last year or so, people have been notified they're coming off a year early, that they will expire in May of 1998. Our position as a party, as endorsed by Jean Charest in St. John's on Tuesday, carried in the local media in St. John's, is that the PC party will honour the Government of Canada's commitment given back when the program was announced, that it would be a 5-year program, and those people with letters indicating their duration of benefits, that we will honour that. We feel that that's the least we can do as a Government of Canada, is to honour a commitment made by a prior Government of Canada or an existing Government of Canada, that they should at least be honourable and honour that commitment. Now, having said that, there are people in other sectors of the economy that, that are annoyed and concerned about what people are going to do for them. But since that program was promised for 5 years, letters were distributed ensuring people they would get those benefits for 5 years. People in the middle of training programs now that will not be able to finish if their benefits are withdrawn, that we will honour that commitment to them of a 5-year program and keep it going until May of 1999. That's our commitment. It's on the record, and we will do that.
If the current rate of out-migration from the province continues, there won't be many people left in the district. If elected, what would you do in an effort to reduce out-migration?
The biggest key to reducing out-migration is job creation. People need jobs to stay here, and why people are moving away is that they've gone through a period of waiting to see what the future holds for them. Their fish plants have been put on hold, like here in Burgeo. They can't plan their lives, so they become frustrated and fed up, and they've gone outside of this province to seek jobs, which is a very unfortunate situation, especially when you reflect back to 1993, when Mr. Chrétien and Mr. Simmons and others Liberals in this country got elected on a mandate to create jobs. They got elected in 1993 on a mandate to create jobs, but yet in 1997, the riding of Bjorn St. George's has the highest unemployment rate in Canada. So that's why we have an out-migration, and we have to create jobs, whether it's in Burgeo by reactivating the plant and putting people back to work, the number of people that the resource will sustain. And we have to create jobs through small business. One of the most effective measures of creating jobs in Canada is through small business. And just Tuesday, I was into Halifax and met with the head of the Canadian Federation of Independent Business. And they are the most effective agency in Canada to create jobs, whether it's 2 jobs, 5 jobs, 10 jobs, 12 jobs. So that's what we need to do here in Newfoundland and Labrador, in Bjorn St. George's, in Burgeo, is work with the people to identify employment opportunities, work with them to find a solution, and get on and employ people. And if we do that, then people won't out-migrate. So that's where it is. The out-migration problem is very serious. I know that talking to people here today, that, I mean, people are really, really annoyed with the situation. They want it to stop, but every day more and more people are leaving. So unless we create jobs and give them a reason to stay here, that process will continue, which is very unfortunate, because if we lose many more people, the community will cease to function, because there won't be a tax base, there will not be services be able to be offered. So it's very troubling, but that's what we'll do to try and stop this out-migration, is create employment to keep people here.
Okay, Mr. Matthews, we'd like to thank you for speaking with us today, and we wish you the best of luck with your campaign.
It's my pleasure, and I look forward to coming back to Burgeo soon.
The Lions' 25th anniversary celebrations are fast approaching. A complete schedule of events will be publicized on Community Channel 10 once it is finalized. Next week, I'll be speaking with Lions members to find out more about plans for the week. I'll also be speaking with the chartered member of the club that has been there from day one. Stay tuned for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill. All that after this.
Celebrating the joy of physical activity for 25 years. Participaction.
Off the Rack. This week, as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a story from April of 1992, the last day of production at the Seafreeze plant here in Burgeo. Here's a look back now to April 26, 1992. Most of these vehicles will not be at the plant parking lot tomorrow morning because most of these workers were laid off on Friday. Mr. Gilbert informed me this past week that he had a meeting with Mr. Barry last Monday. Mr. Gilbert informed me that Mr. Barry admitted that the Burgeo plant is not closing because of shortage of fish or lack of equipment, but rather because of the production costs and problems with union leadership.
Welcome to the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm AJ Marks. The preschool TV bingo held on Wednesday was won by Lydia Green. Congratulations, Lydia. The LOBA will be having a TV bingo on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Bingo cards are available from any LOBA member or in most stores around town. The arena telethon is only a week away. As part of the telethon, a $500 bingo will be held. Cards for this bingo will be available from all minor hockey players. The cards for this bingo will have a red Burgeo Broadcasting System stamp on the back. Cards are $1 each, or 6 for $5. The Volunteer Services Department at the Calder Health Care Center is hoping to open a gift shop at the hospital. In order to make it a reality, they need volunteers who are willing to give of their free time to help operate this gift shop. If you have some free time and are interested in helping out, please call Jeanette Han at 886-3350. The Calder Healthcare Center is also seeking individuals to volunteer during the morning or one afternoon a week to assist with recreation programs. This would enable the residents to get outside during warmer weather. These volunteers would not affect any jobs at the facility because they are dealing with social programs, not clinical or patient care duties. Seaside Mini Mart and the Bridgeville Fish Market have donated 20 pounds of lobster to be given away during the telethon. 2 draws each for 10 pounds of lobster will take place during the telethon. Tickets are available at Seaside Mini Mart, Bridgeville Fish Market, and other businesses around town. Remember, this is the last week to purchase tickets on the year of free cable, which will also be drawn for during the telethon. The Bridgeville Lions Club are selling tickets on 2 $150 gift certificates. Tickets are $1 each, or 3 for $2, and will be drawn on May 23rd. Tickets are available from any Lions member. If your group or organization has an upcoming event planned and you would like to have it included in our lineup, please contact the BBS office during regular business hours. Events must be submitted no later than Wednesday of each week. This concludes the community events segment of tonight's broadcast. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for the IAS update in its entirety. Tune in on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of Pansy's Garden. Try your luck on Wednesday at 7 p.m. by playing LOBA TV Bingo. Also at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, the IAS will be hosting a live interactive panel discussion. Join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. for a rebroadcast of An Evening with Stan McDonald from our friends at Ramia Broadcasting. And of course, Marie, Melissa, and Pansy will be here again with a Craft and Stories, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on Pansy's Garden. And next Sunday, we'll have the Burgeo Recreation Commission's Arena Telethon from 2 to 10 p.m. For next week only, This Week in Review will air on Monday at 8:30 p.m. instead of Sunday. Please stay tuned now for An Evening with Stan McDonald from our friends at Ramia Broadcasting. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.